Hello pilots and ground crew. I've been asked, well, quite a few times, do I get worried when I'm flying over water? Well, yes, like most people probably do. Drone Girl YouTube channel, lady from Ireland. If you're not a subscriber to her channel, go check her out. Brilliant, Drone Girl. She summed it up really good in one of her previous videos. And knees go to jelly every time she flies over water, which is right, because even if you've done every check in the world, there's a lot of components in a quadcopter drone and anything can go wrong. Same as aeroplanes. I've done previous videos where just something like a servo can go, or your ESC can go, and there's 4 ESCs in a quadcopter. So anything can go wrong. All you can do is hope it doesn't and do preventative checks before you take off and fly. So what I wanted to talk about is some of the checks I do every single time I fly, whether it be over water or not, and also extra checks I do every 5 to 10 flights, just to make sure I'm keeping Tallulah, my drone, as happy as possible and keeps me less panicky. And I say less because the second that bird goes over the water, you feel it in your stomach. You're thinking, oh please, nothing go wrong, nothing go wrong. As if you've flown over water, you all know exactly what I'm thinking and what I'm seeing. Okay then, let's zoom in on my little workbench and I'll show you the flight checks I do before every flight, and also the flight checks I do after every 5 to 10 flights, just to keep on top of things. Here we go then guys. Obviously before every flight, goes without saying, you check your props are on nice and tight. That goes without saying. But also what I like to do before every flight is check that each and every screw on every arm is in tight. That's very important because these can over time come loose, so I check them every flight, every time I go out. I don't mean I take off, I fly a battery, I land, I put a new battery in and I check them again. I may do a visual quick check after every flight, but I don't go around with a screwdriver. But if I'm going out today, I'll check them. Put the bird away, come back tomorrow, I'll check them again before going out again. That's something I do every day. Also, your antennas, I check they haven't come loose. Just give them a little feel, make sure they're still nice and tight and in place. You've got 4, remember. Well, 5, because you've also got your signal for your video. Right, if I turn her up this way and move the camera and zoom right in for you to see, because something very important that a lot of people do forget. Right, just zooming in. Right, get into focus for me. Yeah man, there you go. Right, now after every 10-15 flights, in here where your batteries connect up, sometimes a bit of dust or a bit of dirt can build up, and I get a Q-tip, give them a little wipe. Now if they have tarnished, you can get different cleaners, but I use a little bit of WD-40 or even, if I can get it out of my cupboard, even alcohol rub. Hope you can see that. And just clean these connectors where your batteries go. Make sure they're free from dust and dirt and everything. And also you want to make sure in here where your batteries connect up, they're nice and clean as well, no dust has got, because the last thing you want is to get a bit of a short, a bit of interference while you're actually flying, because we all know what will happen, the bird will just drop straight out of the air. Also, what I do is I keep my props on because it fits in my case with the props on. However, after every 5 flights I take my props off and I check them. I check the motors, the threads on the motor, make sure they're all nice and clean and nout's built up, no grease or dirt I should say. Also check the inside of my props just to make sure the thread hasn't gone. These are basic, well, I won't say basic, well yeah, basic safety tips that I do. Now the gimbal, I also check the gimbal connectors. Now I do that before every flight. Make sure the mounting brackets aren't come loose, make sure they're nice and tight. Check the screws as well in your gimbal, make sure they're tight, and your sensor screws. Basically do a full check, because the last thing you want is for something to go wrong, especially if you're over water. They're the basic checks I do every day, and also the checks I do every 5 to 10 days. Hi guys, we're back. One more thing I wanted to mention was software updates. Something I do before walking out of that door with my drone, I always check if there's any software updates, whether it be for your mobile device or your drone itself or even your transmitter. I always check just in case. The last thing I want to do is get out and there's a glitch, there's a problem, need software update, your firmware ain't up to date or out like that. So that's something else I check as well. What I also like to do if I'm going for a long flight, especially if I'm flying over water, before I go out again, sometimes I do it the night before, I turn the drone on, take the props off, turn the drone on, connect it to my mobile device, and just check the screen on your mobile device, check there's no glitches or out like that. I don't do it every time. That's something I don't do every time I go out, but every now and again I like to double check and go through stuff. But it's just a safety precaution, because things can go wrong. I've heard people say, oh, they've got all these backups and if I lose signal it'll definitely return to home and stuff like that. Well, it's meant to, but that doesn't mean it's going to. Things can happen, things can go wrong. Alright? You must have seen the odd video on YouTube where drones just fly out of control and there's odd little glitches and stuff. It does happen, so the preventative checks and maintenance is just to help try to stop any problems. If something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. If one of your ESCs in your arm, because if you don't know, inside your arms where your props are connected, you've got things called electric speed controllers, which when you, well, I won't go into exactly what they do, I'll bore most people, but they're very important, right? And if one of them fail, which is very rare, but it can happen, as people that fly the racing quads, the 250s, the 210s or whatever, we know things like that can happen. And it can happen in your Phantoms or whatever you happen to be flying. Things can go wrong. So the more you can do and check your preventative stuff, the better. So I hope you enjoyed this quick video, and it's mostly, once again, I keep saying this in my videos, it's mostly for new pilots who's just getting into this hobby and they've rushed out, they've bought a Phantom, they've seen them on YouTube and then, oh, what do I do? So, and it's just one of them situations. A lot of people don't realise there's a lot of different things. There's the rules, the laws and stuff like that, but there's also maintenance you want to be doing. Some people won't do any maintenance and they'll never have a problem. I say lucky buggers. Some people just do your basic checks, just check your props, check your screws, and that's it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the more maintenance you do, the more safety checks. Right, and I don't want to get on about health and safety or all that stuff, but the more safety checks you do, the less chance you've got of something going wrong. Because if you're over land and your drone crashes, you've got a good chance of it getting repaired. If you're over water and your drone crashes, you start to cry. Okay, Right, well, I hope this helps anybody, and as I usually say, if it helps one person, I'm happy. Okay then, thanks for watching, and catch you next time. And next time I'll be flying. Cheers!